Welcome to the SImple Sophisticate podcast, where intelligent living is paired with signature style. I'm your host, Shannon Ables, and whether you're listening on your commute, exercising, working in the garden, or sitting down with a hot cup of tea or a café au lait, thank you for tuning in. Let's get started. In today's episode, we are combining 4 components of how to live a simply luxurious life. And it's going to be a more lighthearted podcast today. We're not going to go deep and philosophical today. We're just going to talk pretty logical, everyday kind of business. Things that maybe we tend to take for granted or forget about, but need to be tended to on a regular basis. So we're going to combine the topic of money with finding that contentment or that fulfillment, along with the idea of making sure we find a life balance and have that confidence to straddle that line between work and play, which requires of us to integrate into our lives simple luxuries, right? So with those 4 components in mind, we are going to have some fun today, but also be efficient. I guess that's what I want to use today, efficient, and also not be afraid to take care of ourselves and to enjoy our lives, so living that quality life. But it's with those simple decisions we make and by staying organized that we can live that way. So today what we're doing is talking about creating a lifestyle grocery list. Now you may be asking, what the heck is a lifestyle grocery list? Because we've gone over a lot of lists on the Simply Luxurious Life and the SImple Sophisticate. We've talked about weekly grocery shopping lists. We've talked about back to school and back to work shopping lists. We've talked about wardrobe shopping lists. Whether here on the podcast or on the blog, if there's a list to be had, it seems like we have talked about it, but there are endless more, I'm sure. But today we are going to talk about a list or share a list that we have not addressed. And I started thinking about that this weekend when I was perusing through some fashion magazines, and I was also looking at my to-do list, and I realized, oh, I'm out of thank you notes. I need to order a few more. But then I was also looking at one of my favorite features in Harper's Bazaar is that they interview a handful of women in various decades of their lives, and they ask them what their daily rituals are, or their health routines, or their fitness routines, what they eat every day, and just those little beauty essentials that they have to have on hand. And I started to think about that, and I was like, oh, shoot, I just also realized that I need to order my blush. I'm out of my blush. And I started thinking, wait a second, those are expenses that we say we need on a regular basis, the makeup, and on a regular basis, just in case we need to say thank you for things we just don't ever expect or just can't kind of come out of the blue. We need to have those thank you notes on hand. But again, those cost money. So when we're talking about a budget, it's one thing to have a monthly budget and knowing that you have to pay certain bills on time at certain dates of every month. You have to pay the mortgage every month. But what about those expenses that don't happen every month, but you need them to make your life run smoothly, such as your makeup, such as the stationery to always have on hand? So I started thinking about, let's put a list together. So what exactly is this lifestyle grocery list? Here is my definition. Any item that requires money out of your budget, but doesn't occur regularly. In other words, doesn't occur weekly or monthly, and it's minus all food or clothing items. So that's what a lifestyle grocery list is. So today we're going to talk about a modern woman's lifestyle grocery list. And so I want to begin with a quote, because when we think about a modern woman's life, there are so many components. And on this list, you're going to find some that are very elevated. You're like, oh yeah, sure. She should definitely have subscriptions to certain periodicals. She should definitely be educating herself constantly. But then when you pair that next to makeup or anything with dealing with the facade of a woman, you're like, wait a second, that's trivial compared to what's in her mind. And I would argue that all components are small little details that allows the woman to be her best. So let me share the quote with you first, and then we'll get started talking about the list. Here we go. Being a woman no longer means being silent and subservient. A modern woman is strong, but in a subtle, confident way that doesn't need to be abrasive. A woman's looks can be helpful, but her brains will always propel her to where she wants to go. A modern woman is well educated. She is up on what is going on in the world around her so that no one can pull the wool over her eyes. So as you will notice, this list will include a variety of arenas of our lives, as keeping these items stocked will allow our lives to run more smoothly, our confidence to soar, a healthy balance between work and leisure to be struck, as well as networking and relationships to remain strong, and our knowledge of the world to be regularly stimulated and informed. If at the end of this list, and I have 24 items on this list, you're listening to it and you're thinking, oh, I have a great idea, let's add this, please feel free to share. This is an ongoing list, and this is what I feel and I need in my life. And I would love to see what else we could add to it. Absolutely would love to see that. So please do share. So let's get started. Number one, and since we just talked about it in the intro, let's start there, stationery. You gotta have stationery on hand, whether it's just blank stationery with your name or your initials on it, or thank you cards, or even just making sure you have your holiday cards stocked from year to year. Just making sure you have that, not having to rush out and grab one. It saves you time. It makes sure that the card that you want to use is thoughtful and ideal to what the message is that you want to send. I have found myself in times of needing a card, and I always kick myself that I don't have cards on hand, because I would like to send the card immediately when the thought presents itself or the situation presents itself. And oftentimes I'm not in a place that has a lot of high quality card selections, and I love picking just the right card. So maybe as you're shopping too, if you notice some cute cards that catch your attention or some thoughtful wordings that you think will just be ideal for a friend, that they would just enjoy the card and it's saying, go ahead and pick it up. But always have thank you cards and blank stationery. I think that's huge. I just recently reordered my favorite thank you cards from Inslee, her Mercy thank you cards, and they actually are on sale right now. So I will provide a link on today's show notes, and you can go save yourself up to 25% off. And great cards, beautiful quality, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. If you love the illustrations on the blog and the podcast, this is the artist that does them, and she has all sorts of beautiful stationery to pull from. So I'll make sure I have a link on today's show notes. So number one is stationery, always having it on hand. Number two is to have 2 to 3 intriguing books at the ready, whether on your nightstand or in your purse or next to your favorite reading chair in the living room. I always prefer to have 2 to 3, mainly because you just never know what your mood's going to be. And I usually always want to read something before I go to bed, or if I'm waiting in line somewhere or on my lunch break. But I never know. I can't predict what my mood's going to be. So I always make sure I have at least 3 different books and in different genres. So here's just a few ideas. Perhaps have one leisurely book, a cozy mystery or a fantasy book, or those lazy kind of days reading books, those days where you just want to lose your thoughts and just enjoy a good little lighthearted story. Those are the kind of books you just got to have on hand, because you know you have those days where you just want to relax. You don't need to be busy doing anything, but you want to get away from your day or away from your world and just relax. That's the first genre I would recommend. The second one is literature. Make sure you have a classic on your hands that you've been curious to read, that you really enjoy, or that you're rereading. Anything that's won an award, anything that's been acclaimed, and you've heard reviews, highly praised reviews about it. Great idea. And the third one is to have a nonfiction book. It could be, obviously, there's tons of different types of nonfiction. It could be a biography. It could be a lifestyle or inspirational book. It could be anything, history. But those are the 3 different genres maybe to have on hand at all times, just because, hey, you never know what your mood's going to be. And you always want to have reading material, right? Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3 is to always have your favorite tea or coffee or drink of choice stocked and ready to go. Whether it's starting the day off with the right cup of hot coffee, shot of espresso, whatever you prefer, or ending the day with a hot cup of tea to calm you down. Just knowing you have those comforts in your cupboards can be something to look forward to at the end of the day when nothing else seems to be going right, or maybe everything is and you just want to relax and savor it, or you want to make sure your day starts off on the right foot. So sometimes there's some teas and coffees out there. They're a little bit more expensive, but investing in that quality, and it is coffee and tea, So obviously keep it in mind with your budget, but it is just coffee and tea. And if that really will set the tone for your day or end your day well, why not invest in that? Why not? So number 3, favorite tea, coffee, or drink of choice. Make sure to have it stocked and ready to go. Number 4 is to have your trusted makeup basics stocked and ready for each morning or evening or touch up that you need it. Now, there are a lot of different makeup items we could talk about here, but we're just talking about the basics, like those absolute have to have them, or your day just doesn't feel right, or you just don't feel yourself. I'm just going to list 5 here. Now, everyone's is going to be a little different. This will just get you some ideas, get it percolating, but you're going to tweak this as necessary. Starting off, got to have your concealer, mascara, lipstick, primer, and then I always make sure I have blush. So again, this is going to depend on what your needs are and just making sure that, like I said at the beginning of today's episode, my blush is getting very, very low. So I needed to make sure I restocked it. Now, thankfully, we don't have to buy makeup all the time because it can be very expensive. But that's why it's important to create something in your budget, a category in your budget where you just save up money regularly. Maybe it's just $10 each month because every 4 months you're going to have to buy a few more items for your makeup bag. Whatever it is, just keep that money saved up a little bit each time so that when you do have to buy, you have enough money. Sometimes that can be hard to do, but maybe just put it in a slush fund, or maybe make a small little savings account that you can kind of siphon it off and you can't touch it easily, so that it's there and it's ready to go when you do need it. Because I know makeup sounds like how does that make us live a better life? But it's more about making you feel your best so that you can walk out into the world as confident as you possibly can, forget about how you look because you already know you look great, and focus on what matters. Whatever the job or task is at hand, you can focus on it and not worry about how you presented yourself. That's number 4. Make sure your trusted makeup basics are stocked. Number 5, similar note, making sure your necessary hair products are ready to go, that they are not the bottom of the canister, whatever it is that you have. Now, everyone's hair needs are different and they shift and twist as we get older, and we have to adapt and get to know new products as our hair needs change. But here's a general list with regards to what you need. Most people usually need some kind of item for prepping, for styling, to hold the style, and then also to repair. And I would add one last item, because not everyone washes their hair every day. And if you don't wash your hair every day, or even if you do wash your hair every day, dry shampoo is one of those maintenance. So I guess another category would be maintenance. A maintenance necessity for your hair. So dry shampoo. That's number 5. Number 6 are candles. Lately, I have fallen in love with having candles around the home, scented candles especially. And it's in the wintertime, I think, that they seem to take the place of having fresh flowers, because it is hard to get fresh flowers that you really love that last. And so I've been kind of going to candles during the winter months, and I absolutely love the ambiance it creates, the mood, and they just soften up the space and make it a bit more cozy. And they are a bit of a luxury, so we have to save up for them. But if you get a gift certificate or something, these might be a great addition to add to your home. Number 6, saving up and bringing into your home candles. Number 7 has to do with the little simple luxuries that we all have to give ourselves from time to time, having bubble baths stocked up as well. So I don't know about you, but dipping into a warm bubble bath or a hot bubble bath at the end of a long day, or even if I'm just continuing the relaxation mood in the weekend, there's nothing like it. And I mean, you can have a bath without bubbles. Absolutely, absolutely. But there is something about that texture, about that playfulness. And also you can get those bubble baths with scents as well that I absolutely love. If I could just, when I slip it, like just yesterday, I just had a bubble bath and I just brought my iPad in, watched a episode of House of Cards and had, yes, I do like House of Cards. It's a guilty pleasure. I think I have 2 episodes left, so I didn't actually binge watch, but I kind of have been indulging a little bit lately, so before long it's going to be done. Anyway, off topic. And of course, I just enjoyed my chocolate truffle in the bathtub as well. It was lovely. It was absolutely lovely. Doesn't get to happen that often, but knowing that you have a bubble bath on hand is always a great idea. And I list on the show notes today links to my favorite bubble bath. I prefer L'Occitane's verbena, and then I also have their lavender. The scents are just subtle enough, but also consistent enough that you just enjoy them throughout the entire bath. Absolutely lovely. And you can find those on today's show notes at thesimplyluxuriouslife.com/podcast28. So that's number 7, stock up on bubble bath. Number 8 is having a journal on hand. And whether you keep an extra one on hand so when the one you're using runs out, you don't have to wait a day or two to go shopping. It's up to you. I've done both. But I will say those times that I don't have a journal at the ready when the one I'm using is done, I'm not agitated. I don't go that far, but I'm itching to write. I'm itching to write in it. And I like having that on hand. So it doesn't take me but a day or two before I'm at the bookstore picking up my Moleskine journal and writing it in again. So having a journal on hand is a great idea, whether you simply are just expressing your gratitude, or maybe it's a self-therapy thing. Those days where you just want to vent and get it out. It's a great idea. Or maybe you're cataloging ideas or writing down things that catch your attention, or maybe you're just keeping a personal history. Whatever it is, I think having a journal is a wonderful thing to add to your daily repertoire, or even just weekly, however often you want to do it. And I'll provide a link on today's show notes for the benefits of regular journal writing, because we did talk about that in an earlier blog post. Number 9 is truffles. Now, I know this is not going to be on everyone's list, so substitute your simple luxury that you enjoy as a sweet treat to yourself or a savory treat to yourself that just kind of satiates your palate without going overboard. I've mentioned several times in the blog and in the book and also on this podcast, one of my favorite rituals is that if I have not indulged in dessert, then I'll let myself have a chocolate truffle. Dark chocolate usually is my preference, with peanut butter, and I'll pair that with my black lavender tea in the evenings. And it honestly just totally satiates my palate. It kind of signals to my mind that this is time to start slowing down, getting ready for bed. And I generally look forward to it. I mean, it's really, really simple. I find that I'm not constantly going to the chocolate shop. Not that I have a lot of desserts, but there's some days you just have a busy day and you just are exhausted. But it's nice to know they're there. So that's number 9, stocking up on truffles or whatever it is that fits the same kind of definition. Number 10 are razors. So a razor that is primed and ready to work its magic is a simple item that sometimes we take for granted. We have to make sure that we're not using a dull razor because we don't want razor burn and any unnecessary stubble. So this is a regular thing to kind of pick up at the grocery store, probably every couple months. Just depends on how often you use it and what type you use. But it's definitely something that I often just forget about. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's been a long time since I've changed out my razor head. So maybe I should do that. So just keep that on your list as well. Number 11 is a toothbrush. Since we're in the bathroom at this moment with our list, making sure that your toothbrush has still very stiff or strong bristles for whatever purpose, or maybe you need different type of bristles based on what your dentist has said. But this is something that I am so guilty of. I'm so guilty. The only reason that I end up usually getting a new toothbrush is because I usually go to the dentist for my cleaning and they give me a new one. I'm like, oh yeah, I probably should have traded that out. But this is definitely something for good health, because a lot of our good health starts in our mouths, and we keep maintaining that, then so much goes forward positively. And also just knowing that you're cleaning your teeth and you have that brilliant smile to share with people. Simple thing, keep it up. Shift it out every 6 months approximately is what my dentist has said, but every dentist probably gives different suggestions. But just note that if you want stiff bristles, here I sound like a dentist, but you get the idea. Just be aware of it. Be aware of it so it can do its job. Number 11, make sure you're stocked up on your toothbrush. It's top quality and ready to do its work. Number 12 is skincare. Skincare products can get expensive, especially ones that are worth their weight. Now, not all skincare products are expensive, but there are certain items that are worth investing in, as we know. Caring for our skin now is similar to feeding our body well now as well. When we take care of our skin, we prevent premature aging. We protect ourselves from sun damage, all sorts of different things that in the end, really benefit us in many ways, not just health, but also we feel good, we feel our best. And there's something about pampering our skin that just also feels a bit like a luxury. Feels a bit like a luxury. So this is similar to makeup, I think, because it can get expensive, is that you save a little bit each month, put it in a little savings fund or a category where you just don't touch it. So that when it does come time to restock on your eye cream or maybe your mask or your scrubs, that you have that money, Your skin will thank you. So everyone will need different things for their skin based on their needs, but here are the general areas of items that you may need. Cleanser, daily moisturizer, maybe you use a heavier one at night, eye cream, scrub, masks, and body lotion, a good body lotion. And those, again, are just general suggestions. Everyone's going to have different needs. Number 12 is skincare. All right, we still have a lot more to go. We've just talked about the first 12 on the Modern Woman's Lifestyle Grocery List. I'm going to take a quick 1-minute intermission, and I will see you on the other side. Welcome back. All right, we are halfway through our list of the Modern Woman's Lifestyle Grocery List, and we have some good ones, so let's get right back into it. Number 13 is a planner refill. Now, I know not everyone has a paper planner or a hold-in-your-hands planner that requires a refill, but for those of us who do, I did try to go all tech, paperless, absolutely, a couple years ago. And then I realized that something for me, for what I needed, was missing. So I did return back to my Franklin planner, and I just have to write down my to-do list. I love the crossing it off or checking it off. That's for me. And again, so this may not be for everybody, but usually it's an annual refill. And so just making sure that we have the money to buy that refill, because we will need it to plan and schedule and be our successful selves and pursue those goals that we've set for ourselves. All right, so number 13 is the planner refill. Number 14 is our makeup application tools. Each woman's makeup routine, as we talked about earlier, about the makeup products that we use, will be different. And aside from our brushes that we can clean and reuse, we will need those tools that are disposable, such as cotton balls, Q-tips, or sponges. And they do last quite a while, but we need to make sure that when they are about to run out, that we stock up. That's number 14, our makeup application tools. Number 15, back to the reading. Making sure that we have a couple or a handful of subscriptions for regular reading material that keeps us up to date and in the know is vital. Part of being a savvy citizen, an individual, and a wise decision maker is knowing what is going on in the world. And then also just simply staying abreast of news in our field of interest so that we can have ample conversation topics, as well as deepen our own knowledge base about those areas that we are most interested in. Now, here are just a few. I'm not going to list the whole laundry list of subscriptions that I've either subscribed to or currently subscribed to. I will put that on the show notes with all of them. But making sure that you subscribe to your local newspaper, or subscribe to a national newspaper, or subscribe to, for example, a periodical like the New Yorker or the Economist, or some of my favorites for newspapers are international newspapers are the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times. I regularly share articles from those newspapers on the blog. But then you got to have some fun. And of course, I've got Vogue coming in. I love my Elle, love the decor magazines, the food magazines. It just depends on your interest. But just having those come regularly stimulates your mind, informs your mind, and also may relax your mind, depending on what you're reading. That's a great idea to add to your budget, even though it doesn't happen on a regular monthly basis, probably annually or biannually, depending on your payment plan. So that's number 15, 2 to 5 subscriptions for a regular reading material. Number 16 are to have business cards ready to go. Whether you own your own business, whether you work for a company, whether you're a teacher, or maybe you're simply done working in the traditional working environment, having a card to quickly give someone with your contact information is always a good idea. After all, you are your own brand. You are your own brand. And this speaks of efficiency, but it also speaks of sincerity. Like, I genuinely want to communicate with you or stay in touch with you. Let's do that. Here's my contact information. And business cards are so inexpensive. You can buy 100, and some people don't even need 100, but you can buy 100 for like $5 on Zazzle.com or Vistaprint. My preferred business or website, or the website that I go to for business cards, is Zazzle, because there's so many options for designing your own card, and the prices are so low, so low. So I'll provide a link to them on the blog show notes today if you're interested. But I mean, I remember when I was first starting teaching, schools didn't give out their teachers business cards, so I made up my own. And I was looking for a new job at the time. I was trying to move, and so I made up my own to give away at interviews or if they had a teacher conference or whatever it was. But I've also seen like substitute teachers create their own business cards, which I think is a brilliant idea. You want to seem professional. You want to, if the job was done well, let people know how to contact you if they want to. It's a great idea, great idea. And even in personal settings, you meet someone at a gathering, or you're at a potluck or a cocktail hour, and you start talking and you want to connect with them. For whatever reason, it's an easy way to exchange information and seem somewhat personal. So just an idea to keep in mind. Very inexpensive way to do it. Number 17 is nail polish. Even if you have the luxury of someone doing your pedicure or manicures for you, you're going to want to have polish at home to touch up chips. I myself do my own pedicures and manicure, and I make sure I keep it really simple. I just keep one color on stock and then my top coat. But whatever your preferences are, if you love all sorts of different colors, make sure you're stocked up and ready to go. Because if you're a busy woman, like I think most of you are, there's going to be weekends where you're like, I don't have time to get this done. So whatever you can squeeze in the time to do your manicure or your pedicure, you're going to want to make sure all the items are there that you need to get the job done. So number 17 is nail polish. Number 18 are stamps. And I know not everyone corresponds with letters anymore, which would require stamps. But if you have stationery, you're going to mail it, right? If you have certain ways of communicating that are just more personal, you're going to want a stamp. So just having stamps on hand, just in case, is a great idea. Number 19 is prescriptions. If you have any type of prescription, whether for your health, your eyesight, etc., this is a must-have item to budget for, so that just before your cycle runs out, you can go stock up. And it does, as we know, cost money, but it doesn't necessarily happen every single month. So just be aware of that one. Number 20, more fun one, is perfume. Perfume, as we know, can last 6 months to a year and still have its potency, but not having it, for some reason, always makes me feel a little naked. Like I need that spritz, or I need that dab of perfume on my wrist. Since it's an item that doesn't need to be purchased as often, it's more possible to invest in a quality fragrance that really speaks to your signature style. So number 20 is perfume. Number 21 are flowers. If I can, I love to pick up flowers weekly. So this could be a monthly or weekly budget item. But maybe it's the season, maybe it's my budget. This isn't always possible because it is a luxury item. It absolutely is. While it may be something that we don't need, it definitely brings a warmth and a welcoming touch to our home. So when we can, this is a fun item if we have a little extra money to go and purchase our favorite flower, our favorite bouquet, whatever it is we prefer, and bring it into our lives. Number 21, flowers. All right. 22 is dry cleaning. Now, this is a necessity, but not always do we need it on a regular basis. But it's nice to know that we have a little extra money to invest in those clothing items that we've invested in to take care of them properly. So whether it's your favorite blouse, your favorite dress, a skirt, or something that needs attention or care, make sure that you have a few extra funds to do that. That way you'll always be presenting confidence and feel your best. Number 22 is dry cleaning. Number 3 is our calendars. Whether it's part of your decor scheme to have a wall calendar, or maybe you just have one hanging in your office just for literally you need to know the days of the week and you want to see it very visually. A calendar is something that we have to plan for every year to pick up or keep our eye open for so we find exactly the one we want. So number 23 is our calendar. And last but not least, and this all depends on how you go about your fitness regimen, but depending on whether you go to a gym or maybe you go to a yoga studio or a Pilates studio or anywhere where you get a pass, where you buy certain amount of passes, that undoubtedly will run out. And it probably won't run out each month. So if it doesn't run out each month, you're going to want to make sure you set aside money so that whenever it runs out, you have enough money to keep your regular fitness routine going, whatever it is that you most enjoy, because it's part of maintaining our balance, getting rid of that stress, decompressing, whatever it is that fitness does for you, invest in it. All right. So that's the 24-item lifestyle grocery list. If you think there is an item that we should add, please share with everyone in the comments. I'm so curious to see what you have come up with. These are just the items that for me, I need to function on a regular basis. And I hope maybe it's been a little helpful to kind of do the planning of it. Because I think that's part of it. It's just the planning of it. We know we need these things. And then we forget, oh, I did not budget for that this month. And I need it. My concealer ran out, whatever it is. What I've done for you, I've created a printable grocery list that you can fill in to your preferences. So the types of hair care, the types of prescriptions, whatever it is that you need to fill out for your own needs, and you can print it out, post it up, whatever you need to do, make as many copies of it as you want. I provide a link on today's show notes, www.thesimplyluxuriouslife.com/podcast28. So you can have it for your own, print it out, and use it as you need to. So primarily the reason to be aware of our lifestyle grocery list is to recognize what our budget needs, because that can stress us out when we either don't have enough money to get what we think we need, or we need something, but we have to extend ourselves and it just tears us apart, or we just are frustrated that we let ourselves get to that point. Planning is key. So not all of these items will be on your list, as I would imagine, but I would imagine a lot of them are. Or maybe you're realizing, oh, I could add that, and that would make things so much easier. Whatever it is. Most importantly, living well, living simply luxuriously, is about living consciously and handling those items in our lives which we have completely in our control so that we can make the best of our lives. Being prepared, looking our best, and feeling our best are 3 things that we can influence in a variety of ways. So why not do all that we can? All right. Again, if you would like any of today's links for today's show notes, just go to podcast 28 on the blog and you'll find everything we talked about. Now stay tuned for this week's Petit Plaisir, which is a simple little beauty item that I think you're going to love. So today's Petit Plaisir is something that isn't a book or a film or something with regards to culture, but it is something that's a must-have to make our everyday, run a little smoother. And since that's what we're kind of talking about today, I thought I'd share with you my find. I was so excited about it when I found it. And once you hear it, you're going to be like, okay, Shannon, calm down. It's really not that big of a deal. But to me, it is. So as I mentioned earlier in today's episode, I wash my hair probably every other day, and then I use a dry shampoo for the in-between days, just soak up the oil and keep the hold without damaging my hair or stripping my hair unnecessarily. And I love doing that. And I've been doing that, I think, for 3 or 4 years, and my hairstylist recommends it, so on and so forth. But I always need, obviously, a shower cap. So usually what I'll do is just have the basic little clear plastic shower cap. No biggie, it works. It's fine. It covers it. It doesn't get wet. But lately I've realized that not lately, I guess I've realized it always, but I'm just like, I can deal with it. Just blow dry it out. Something always gets wet, whether it's the base of my neck or my bangs or something always gets wet. Or maybe it's just the steam that soaks in and I don't even realize it, and it gets kind of smushed down and loses the volume that I worked so hard in the blowout the day before to maintain. So I found the shower cap that solves the problem, I think the best way we possibly can solve it. So it's about $18 from Blow Pro, and it's called the Perfect Shower Cap. And what makes it more perfect than just the basic plastic shower cap, and I have pictures of it on today's show notes, is that it has a terry cloth liner inside of the basic plastic exterior. And what that does, and obviously depends on your hairstyle and your hair texture and where you live with regards to, your bathroom, is that it soaks up the excess steam and moisture so that your hair does maintain its volume. I'm just so excited about this. I provided the link on the show notes. It's supposed to last for quite a while, so I'm curious to see how long it'll last. Just make sure when you are done using it, you flip it inside out so that it dries appropriately. There's just something so refreshing about waking up in the morning, knowing you don't have to style your hair, but knowing that it will look good. And the key is a good shower cap, as I've realized, because my last shower cap in the last month or two has been ripped and torn, and it's been driving me crazy. So this one has been a savior. Blow Pro's The Perfect Shower Cap. You can find the links on today's show notes, the simplyluxuriouslife.com/podcast28. I hope you've enjoyed this week's Petit Pleasure, where each week ideas are shared to make the everyday all the more enjoyable. Tune in at the end of each Monday's podcast, where I'll recommend a book, a film, a recipe, or from time to time, introduce you to an expert who offers insight into how to live simply luxuriously. Anything that is a simple pleasure to satiate your sophisticated tastes. Thank you for tuning in to the SImple Sophisticate podcast. For more ideas and inspiration, stop by the blog, thesimplyluxuriouslife.com. Until next Monday, bonjour!